Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we have the Baliplus bm99 Necron geezer here. This will be the last video you guys see of this guy, because sadly he has found a new owner. But can we just take a moment? I think I'm going to change it up for this review. This is my official review for it, by the way, guys, so, here you go. These are my, compiled thoughts and opinions on this little Baliplus Benchmade Necron bm99 clone. This is the stainless steel version, but my thoughts here do apply for the titanium version. If anything, I would probably suggest anything you can apply to this, the titanium will be marginally better from a flipping perspective. Otherwise, it should all be about the same, right? And I guess from a customization perspective. But value-wise, this guy is still probably the king. But I think, can we just take a moment to appreciate the sound here? Goodness me, Baliplus is doing a fantastic job with their balisongs recently. From a sound, this gets a solid 9. The tactile feedback, and obviously, tolerance-wise, with thick oil in there, you should be good. Obviously, as with any sandwich balisong, there's probably room just for a bit of fine-tuning. There is a little bit of play in the handles. But, it's nothing too crazy. I'm sure just sending probably just the safe handle, just a teeny bit would get you, literally like no wiggle. So there is that. So that's the tolerances. Tolerances are going to get, a good 7 for me, because I think it's pretty difficult to make a fantastically toleranced guy like this. The hardware is all right. It comes with spares, though. Here is the little box. This is what the stuff it comes with. Whole bunch of goodies in here: bite handle indicator, some extra weights, some extendos in the same handle color, as well as just ones to end it so it's shorter. It might actually feel better even if it's shorter. And those guys. So why did I throw those over there? Let's go back in the box. Yeah, you got a really cool little package with these guys. I quite like the idea of it, and so let's get on to the construction. This is a sandwich balisong. So what that means is obviously it's made of layers like a sandwich that are screwed together. You can see it's got 1, 2, 3, and there are 2 hidden ones, I believe, as well. 4, 5, 6, 7 screws per handle or whatever. Excuse me, sorry guys. Yeah, so there's quite a few screws per handle. I believe there's just another hidden one in here, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws per handle. Right, that's not too bad. Obviously, you really only need to worry about these 2 pivot ones, unless you're planning to change the weight balance if you want it to be more handle biased or whatever. But yeah, so the sandwich construction, it is either titanium or stainless steel liners with screw-ins and pins and G10 scales and I think an ABS plastic spacer. So nothing super crazy in terms of this. The titanium ones are probably just going to be a bit better. Everything I say applies to them. Everything I say about this guy applies to those ones. The titanium ones probably even just a tad bit better. Just because they will be slightly lighter than the stainless steel ones. And realistically, they should have been titanium from the beginning from Benchmade. So, Benchmade makes this knife, and they sell it for $500-$600, depending on the toner. I think, yeah, between $450 and $600, depending on the trim and whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, it might just be $500, but, it's an expensive balisong, right? It's like you're paying money for titanium, and it's the exact same construction with one change. The blade on those is actually pretty nice. It's S35. Might even be S35V, right? Or S30V. Which is a pretty decent blade steel for EDC, right? So they make good knives, and I'm sure the blades will be great. And the thing is, it is similar to this balisong in the fact that this guy flips really, really well. Honestly, from a flipping score, I'll give this guy a solid 6 in terms of my preference. Now, to explain that, 5 would be the average, right? This guy is certainly an above-average flipper. However, he's not as versatile as some other balisongs due to the weight balance. So the weight balance of this guy is predominantly towards the handles. You can kind of see, I don't know if I have a balisong example at hand to show you guys a good kind of, well, you know what, here we go. Let's go for this guy, right? This is the Mad Coat. This is a fairly standard size balisong. And you can see the handles got quite a bit longer, and the blade, well, the blade's also quite long, actually. The blade is probably about standard length. Oh, really? Let's try the Kraken then. Let's see how it compares. This is like the standard balisong, right? So compared to the Kraken, the handles are a tad longer, and the blade is... Oh, right, okay, so I guess you wouldn't guess that it's so disproportionately balanced, at least with the stainless steel handles. But I think the stainless steel being stainless steel, it's quite a hefty material, so I think the titanium would actually flip better, but that just leads it to have... You know, weirdly, it's a gentle handle bias, but because of the scimitar blade and the fact that the weight is kind of strangely distributed here, it has a unique weight distribution. It's definitely what I would call handle bias. It is comfortably handle bias. But it still does fanning tricks well, and still does many tricks. Well, does all the tricks really quite well. I don't think this is something that would be too restricting. I think you could definitely learn on this guy. But the reason why the flipping score is just a bit lower is it doesn't particularly like to do fanning tricks without some coercion. But obviously you can see even fanning slowly, it does still fan quite effortlessly, but it doesn't like carrying the momentum as evenly as you might want. Chaplains are phenomenal on this guy, as one might expect from a handle bias knife. And aerials are good, but a little bit scary in terms of, one, this tip is nuts, and two, it doesn't exactly aerial super consistently. I'll see if I can get an example of it, but yeah, it could aerial a little bit more predictably, you know, something a bit more like this, where this has a very nice, you know, I'll see if I can get a nice good wide video of, you know, just flipping that. Another comparison would be the Kraken. Kraken is probably the most predictable one, and then this guy, it's obviously also quite good, and you can flip it in a way that will do it, but the blade, oh yeah, when you try to flip it slowly, you can see the blade kind of moves the momentum in a strange way. This is not so off-putting that you can't flip it and that you can't do aerials with it, because obviously, as you can see, I can still perfectly find doing them, you know, with no problem. But just something that I've noticed in comparing balisongs to many other things, like to the other balisongs. Excuse me. So yeah, in terms of flipping, I will give it a 6. In fact, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think it's as good of a balance. I think the titanium version would probably be a 7, maybe even a 7.5 if the balance is alright. You can make this more handle bias to your liking, or more end weighted. You can shorten the handles as well with the accessories that come in the box. And I guess another cool thing is, I mean, the blade is, it's a false edge, this one. You know, there is no sharp edge here. But that tip, that's going to teach you about aerials. Yeah, and I also think this choil is also quite sharp. It catches me sometimes when doing like moves like that. Moves where I'm starting on the bite handle or having to do stuff where I'm brushing close by it. Sometimes it'll nick me a little bit. The odd balisong has this as a feature, as an issue that just ends up catching me a little bit. But yeah, overall, I really like this balisong here. The G10 is super comfortable. I think it looks really cool. You know, this actually had me contemplating getting rid of my rep. And so they are a fantastic balisong, especially considering, I guess at the time, I paid a little bit less for my rep than you would pay for this. But I got my rep at a fantastic deal. But like, my rep was a fantastic balisong, and I was just getting a bit tired of it at the time. And before I got some upgrades for it and some modifications, you know, this guy was genuinely having me contemplating, well, I mean, it flips pretty similarly. Like this, the closest thing I have to say this flips like is a rep, right? It feels like a rep in the hands. It flips kind of like a rep does, just with a interesting balance. And it sounds kind of like a rep as well. Obviously, we had that sound test at the beginning, which was just phenomenal. Yeah, super bouncy. Absolutely love how this thing feels. It's literally just like mwah, chef's kiss, you know, like it's just fantastic. And I could not ask for a better balisong at the price. This is at the similar kind of price as this guy, and you're getting a much better build. But you know, this is definitely a more performant flipper, but needs more work done out of the box to be, you know, any good. Right, this is definitely going to be a bit more work out of the box in order to have it as a competent flipper. Which is like fine, but also, you know, I'd probably rather have this guy instead. So because of that, I'm just going to be like, oh man, you can even just hear the bounciness. Wow, what a balisong. Overall, I'm going to give this guy 8 out of 10, simply comparing the price and the value. You get a fantastic balisong for not very much money. This would make a fantastic second balisong, or I mean, even first balisong, considering you can also get the trainer version of this guy. It would just make a fantastic little guy to have, because it's probably quite durable. I mean, it comes with spare end bits, right? These are like having zippy end caps integrated. As well as G10, you can just buy scales for this guy, I'm pretty sure. It looks great. The only downside is it does use the Benchmade logo. It does even say Benchmade on here. It doesn't have like a proper serial, and it doesn't say bm99, but still, that's something that I don't think is exactly great. But this is certainly the balisong that Benchmade should have made. It should have been priced similarly, even if it was $100, right? I think Benchmade would have gotten away with it. Maybe, no, they wouldn't have gotten away with 200. I think 200 would be pushing it really. But like 100, max 150 for a Benchmade knife, you know, it would have been a fantastic entry-level flipper. Obviously, balisongs are quite expensive, which is annoying, but then Baliplus would have still come out with this, and it would have been a third of the price for the same product. So this guy still ends up being the winner, which is fantastic. So honestly, yeah, guys, grab one of these. There will be links somewhere down in the pinned comment. If you want one of these, if you think it looks cool. I love the little gold accents here with a jade G10. It's just a really, really cool balisong. I can't say too much wrong with it. The downsides, yeah, would just be the slightly wonky balance that makes fans not as competitive, I should say. They are still very much interesting, you know, they're just not as effortless as on this guy, I say, as I fail to do a choker fan. Or like this guy fan's really, okay, I did even worse there. But like, you know, some balisongs are just better at fanning, whereas some of them just, you know, they don't like it as much. This guy is on the not as good at fanning, but obviously you can see it still fans very well. You know, you fan gently, you can see it does a bit of handle lean, but it's a really, really fun flipper nonetheless. And I'm kind of sad to see it go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Any questions you have, I'm more than happy to answer below. I really cannot say too much more good or bad about this guy. I think all the bases have been covered. Sounds great, looks great, flips great. Flips great for the money, and it's cheap. And I mean, what more can you ask? And it's better than the original, really, at least price-wise. In fact, no, not even just price-wise, because this runs on bushings, right? And the Benchmade one runs on washers. So this has going to have a more durable tune, and is just generally a better constructed balisong. You can see the cool little details inside. You know, the little 42 style holes, or 4x style holes in there. That's where you put the weights in order to change the balance. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a good time watching the video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.